So, acolytes. The female Frodo Baggins, aka Jezebel. 5 ways how Disney could bring back the man. Let's hear her ideas. Because I'm actually quite freaking interested in what's the actual look of, or how does a female actually see this. Because I know how a guy sees it. Just give me more breasts, it's fine. And do actually good stories. But let's just see what a woman would say.
Jester Bell, aka Female Frodo Baggins here. And today, I am going to be doing some consulting. Because, as we have heard from Disney recently, they are hoping to attract young male audiences.
Yeah, try it. If you cannot freaking attract a male audience, you just failed at your job.
Again, that's exactly right. Disney, after buying Star Wars and Marvel and ramming them into the ground so that no one wants to watch them anymore, has decided that they need to come up with ways to appeal to young male audiences and attract new audience to their films. And I think, it might be a little bit difficult for them to find their ways on it. So that is why I am going to be a consultant here for Disney, and come up with some pointers for them about how they could possibly bring men back to watching their Disney movies after all of this time. And I am a seasoned professional. I know exactly how this works. I think that I have some authority here on how Disney can start catering to male audiences again. Now, I hope that everyone behind...
As I said, I think it's pretty easy. Attractive female characters, attractive actual guys, men that behave like men, and just have good stories in it. And you know what? Even females will be actually attracted to this. Yes, there will still be more that like romances, but yeah, I know a lot of females that actually like it.
Behind the scenes will hear me on this list, and we can start making changes from there. So these are my fake glasses. And this is my list, and so here we go. These are 5 ways to bring men back to Disney movies, in no particular order. Number 1, stop crapping on men. Now that's a very radical point that I'm making here, but stop disparaging men. This is going to be perhaps a very difficult thing for Disney to figure out, because it has been such a staple of their movies for the past decade now. But yeah, I think that this might be a first stepping stone into trying to win back men to watch their movies, or better still, make entirely new audiences. You would need to stop the negative stereotypes of men in all of your movies. You would need to stop taking male heroes and tearing them down and turning them into sad wusses. You took...
Basically, a challenge impossible for those people, so...
Han Solo, I think, is a primary example of a character who had gone on a character arc in the original Star Wars movies of being like a smuggler and then becoming a hero by the end. And you turned him into a deadbeat dad who failed at everything and lost his marriage and lost his son and all of that kind of thing. And, Han Solo was a really big character in that regard, so... maybe it wasn't the best idea to do that, and maybe that really didn't endear people to see your Solo, a Star Wars movie that bombed. Stuff like that. But, all these male characters from Star Wars, from Luke Skywalker to Obi-Wan Kenobi to other Lucasfilm projects like Indiana Jones, and, just all of the ways that we see men portrayed in Disney movies, where you have to tear them down, you have to make them seem like failures and wimps, or you have to create a new version of masculinity, like let's say in Pedro Pascal, where it's this subdued form of masculinity. It's really sad and unmotivated, and they have to always have that strong woman beside them who carries all the weight because the men themselves can't do it. You know, all of these negative stereotypes. Enough, yes. I just think... I gotta put on my glasses. I just think that maybe that is not attracting young males to...
She is correct. Wisdom spoken by female Frodo Baggins that will proceed through generations without, well, any fail. How did she know this? How did she ever come to the conclusion? The ways that she spoke and what she spoke are just true. Yeah, shocking, I know. It's, by the way, easy
to watch Disney movies. I could be going a little bit too far there, but I just think for myself of, you know, if there was a company that made movies that constantly put out negative stereotypes about me, or took all of the characters that I looked up to as role models or icons or heroes and made sure that there were ways to tear them down, whether that's making them failures or making them clowns, I might not be so inclined to watch them. I also might not be inclined to watch them if it is a constant bait and switch on exactly which character is going to be the actual hero of the story. I just don't think that has been a very good way of going about it. Now, this is going to be a very difficult one because it has been such a staple at Disney, but I think that it might be a good start. And I think that you also might need to get rid of the lectures and things of that nature, because for some reason, I don't think that a lot of men are going to want to watch these shows, that they want to unwind and see as escapism, if it's going to turn into a lecture about how terrible they are. I mean, once again, speaking for myself...
Who would have thought? Who would have thought that this, if you're constantly getting shit on, you won't like something? Especially the thing that shits on you. Yes. Another gigantic wisdom of female Frodo Baggins. And by the way, she's correct about everything by now. It's on point. It's just she is on point, except for the freaking just make attractive female characters. She didn't mention that one for now. But, I mean, the brain of this woman, it functions correctly.
I might not be so inclined to watch a show if it is just telling me how terrible I am and preaching at how terrible I am all the time, but that's just me, and that's just an idea that I came up with that I think if maybe if Disney would allow there to be male role models and heroes again, that might actually inspire people to watch some of these shows. So they might need to rein back any sort of CEOs or people behind the scenes who are saying that a male character can be anything but a role model and are tearing the ones that we had down. But anyway, that is...
By the way, she made millions. She doesn't have to work a day in her life. Just by talking bullshit like that. It's incredible. I did something definitively wrong in my own life.
Number one of what I think that Disney could do if it wants to make a start of appealing to male audiences again. So this is point number 2. Allow men to be men. Now, what would I mean by that? Now, that kind of leads out of point 1 a bit. But I find it very difficult in a lot of movies these days, with exceptions for men to actually be men, for men to actually be masculine. I mean, when I think of, like, say, masculine characters, I think maybe Lord of the Rings with a character like Aragorn in a movie that my father starred in. Like, he's a very masculine character, and it's a very mature version of masculinity, and he's, you know, there's a wisdom to his character as well, and there's a strength to him. I don't see...
Aragorn is, in my opinion, peak freaking male. Now, he might not be the freaking giant muscle berg, but he is wise, he is strong, he knows how to get shit done, and he is calm. And when he's not calm, then shit actually burns. This is actually peak male freaking everything. It's beautifully done. I just wish everybody could be like Aragon, including me, acolytes. Although, I am the SmilingLich, so fuck that.
Those kinds of characters in Disney movies. Now, if we're gonna go back past decades for other examples of masculinity, you know who one of my favorite old-time actors is? Gregory Peck. He is fantastic in more ways than one, and he used to play a very, very mature version of masculinity in those movies. One that I gotta say, even apart from Disney, I do not see that today at all. These days, when it comes to men portrayed in movies, yeah, we have a lot of the sad sacks, yeah, we have a lot of the clowns, but for a lot of them, it's just like we're trying to create this more subdued version of men, where he's more sensitive, more sad, or we have a whole lot of himbos out there in the zeitgeist of movies these days. Just these very subdued male characters, and they're not allowed to be masculine or strong in any way, shape, or form, with some exceptions. So it would be kind of nice if you allowed men to actually be men. And I say that I want this as well as a woman, because I don't really resonate with all of these sad sack male characters, or the Pedro Pascals of the world that you are.
Yeah, as I said, what did I say just before? Women will also like this. Yes, because no woman wants a pussy. They have their own. So yes, it is what it is. She is correct about that. Again, this woman has a mind that actually functions. I am very happy for her.
Trying to convince me that I like, even though there's nothing masculine about him at all. Like, I would like male characters to actually be male characters, not these sort of feminized, wimpy sort of characters. So I think that is very important for Disney to consider, that if you actually want to bring men back to watch your movies, you're gonna have to allow men to actually be men, and men that people can relate to, not just these sad wusses that you have invented so that you can elevate the female characters, which I've already done several videos on how you have failed with the latter. And in addition to that, you're gonna have to be okay with movies feeling masculine again, having those elements in their presentation and their tone, and knowing what the difference is.
We're literally hurting cats. Come here, kitty.
As a sub-point to this point, in order to bring men back to movies, you might have to, as point 2A, consider the things that men actually like. And in order to do that, you might have to, point 2B, listen to men.
Oh, man.
And as each of these points is surprisingly kind of leading into the next point number 3, is actually a suggestion I got from a man in terms of making this video. So point number 3, in order to bring men back to Disney movies, you have to allow women to be women. What do I mean by that?
And again, she is correct. Yes. Allow women to be women, be feminine. Yes. Damn, I just adore this world right now. This is just incredible, for fuck's sake. Damn. It's just, and by the way, it's freaking obvious. I'm gonna be honest here. This, everything she says is, and I am not sarcastic when I say that she is smart, because she actually thinks about those things. And this is something that over the last 15 to 20 years just got forgotten heavily. Women and men are different. Women like different things, men like different things. Women behave different, men behave different. And it's fine. But allow them to be what they are. Of course, there are there are exceptions to the rule. But that means that there is a rule. If you follow it, it's fine. And if you don't, and you're just a good person, or an interesting person in a film, in a movie, or something like that, that's also fine. If you have an interesting character, you have a interesting character. That's fine. Don't force it. Don't force everything. Don't force a woman to be a man and a man to be a woman. That's just not how this entire thing works.
You know what really brings men to watch things? Women, actually.
Explosions. Oh yeah,
hot, pretty women.
Women and explosions. Pretty women, yes. Why did I think? Yeah. I am sorry, acolytes. Yes, I know you are a bit disappointed in me. That the first thing I thought of were explosions, but come on. Yeah, really. I mean, if I had to choose, I would still pick women, but I mean, explosions are good.
Yes,
great.
That is why when they do car commercials, there's always the hot chick on the side selling the car. That is why they have cheerleaders at football games. Women sell things to men. I should know that. When I was starting this YouTube channel, I got told by people that I am actually at an advantage on this channel because I am a woman and people will click on things just to see women. So I should know better than anything else that women sell to men. And so if you put attractive women in films and attractive, pretty women in films that are feminine, catered to men, then that will sell. You don't need to do...
The thing is, it's not just that people will click on your video just because you are a woman. At the beginning, yes. I mean, I see it, especially see it in the video being seen. Well, female characters sell better. It's just a fact. The initial thing is, well, because it's female, men brain go up. Or, well, the blood flows a bit differently. And yes, you're gonna click on it. Now, to actually reach what she already have reached, I mean, let's be honest, 63k, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of subs. Well, you can't see it because I'm in the way. Yeah. It's already a lot of things, a lot of views, and also the videos that she posts. Let's just be honest here. They're doing good. They're doing very good. Especially for a, let's just say quote unquote, because a small channel with 63k, they are doing really good. So yeah. Fair enough. I just don't know what the fuck is here. I mean, I like Goths, don't get me wrong, but I actually dislike this. This looks way better in my opinion, but hey, that's just my opinion. But yeah, she's doing very good. But that's also just because she's informative and entertaining without being a freaking page.
Do anything weird with it whatsoever. You just need to allow some of that. You need to not be afraid of the idea that men are attracted to women. You need to not shame that idea. You need to actually put some of that in your films. Just put a level of sex appeal again, and that will also be a way to bring men back to films. Like you've already done some of the female gaze again with some movie like K-pop Demon Hunters, more skewed towards women. Like, you need to do some of the opposite from the male side and decide that those inclinations are not things to be entirely villainized. That is another way to bring men back to movies, is allow women to be women. Put pretty, hot, feminine women in movies and men will come. That is one of the rules.
Yeah, they will come.
That Disney especially has abandoned, because men liking women is scary to a lot of executives behind the scenes. But someone who...
Yeah, of course, because their wives are probably fat and blue-haired, so yeah, they won't like it. Because remember, there is one truth to this world that will always be the same. Nobody hates women more than other women. In fact, they will hate it more just because the person is a woman. So, just remember that, acolytes.
Who just knows basic human instincts and biology will tell you, yeah, that is a surefire way to get things to sell. And on that note, let's do point 3A. make an X-Men Savage Land movie. I'm just gonna point that into a lot of different videos that is a goldmine in the waiting, because you've got dinosaurs that people pay to see. You've got shirtless men, you've got women in bikinis, you've got all this stuff in an X-Men Savage Land movie with superheroes. You could make a movie like an X-Men movie, have some of that in there, you know, you could really attract people to this kind of movie again. An X-Men Savage Land movie would definitely sell on that front. Like, if I were behind the scenes, I'd be like, we are sitting on a gold mine with that movie, with all the different areas that we could market it. And one of those areas is, once again, let's just say, some of the male gaze in there. But you
don't forget the dinosaurs. Like, come on, yes, this is very, very important, but having beautiful women on freaking dinosaurs and behind them explosions, a freaking dream sequence that just waits to happen. It would be legendary. Damn.
You have to bring some of that back if you want to cater to men again. And by the way, by doing this, allowing men to be men, allowing women to be women, not disparaging men, you're actually inviting men to feel like these projects are for them again. When you introduce elements like masculinity or some of the male gaze into movies again, then you make men feel like, oh, this movie is for me. You are inviting them essentially to come see your movie because you're making it feel like it's for them. That is very important to remember. Just like if you were to present a movie with a little bit more feminine skewing, then you would be making women feel like, oh, this is for me. So that is a big way to get men to watch your movies again. Make them feel like it's for them again by introducing these elements. But we're not done yet. We still have 2 more points.
Oh yeah, true.
Number 4. Now, this might be the most difficult one, and I understand that I'm asking for just so much here, but I think that it's necessary that me as an analyst coming in to help Disney bring it up. But part of the way that you would get men back to watch your movies again is make good movies. Now, once again, I know I'm asking for a lot, especially from Disney, but, you know, if you make good movies, then...
What did I say beforehand? What did I freaking say? Yes! Yes!
They can appeal to everyone. Now, I've said that K-pop Demon Hunters, for example, is mainly skewed towards girls.
I'm gonna be honest here, Acolytes. It's mainly skewed for girls, but for fuck's sake, it's still good. You can watch it without getting aneurysms. It's good. It's made with a very, very good and positive way.
But there are a lot of boys who do enjoy the movies as well. And Disney Animation also had a large amount of boys who enjoyed the movies, even if they were technically more female skewing.
Yes.
But yeah, if you make good movies with good characters and story structure and excitement and all of that, then yeah, that is a surefire way to bring men back to watching your movies, and bring everyone back, in fact, because part of the reason why people left Star Wars and Marvel is not just because they destroyed all the characters and elements they liked, even though, I mean, that's the whole thing, but also these movies are just so bad on their own, even disregarding all of the lore and the characters of the past. They're just so bad on their own. So if you really, really want to bring men back to watch your properties again, well, you might want to start making good movies, and in that department, like, Disney's been whipped this year by every other company. Like, even like Sony Animation had the big animated film of the year, and Warner Brothers has been having the best year at the box office. Disney just had the Lilo and Stitch movie that made so much money, but that was still controversial. So that is what you have to do in order to bring men back to your movies. Now, we're almost to point number 5. The biggest point of all, I think, at the end of this video, but to review a bit, stop disparaging men, allow men to be men, allow there to be a masculine element to these films again, where you're not trying to rewrite it to be a girl's thing or take away those masculine elements or feminize it in any way. When you do have some femininity in those films, have it be from the pretty girls in the movie so that men will be interested in that. and make good movies so that people will actually want to watch this stuff in the first place. But then we come to number 5. Now this is going to be the most controversial point of the video, so bear with me here. I had to take off my glasses for this. You need to decide that it isn't wrong to cater to men. Now, what I'm saying by that is, I knew that by doing this video, it would attract people to call me all kinds of names and make all kinds of judgments on me. Why? Because if you even bring up the idea of trying to cater to men, then there are people out there who will instantly mock that idea. We saw
This woman is so on point. Beautifully said. And they will be toxic and will even try to destroy your life as soon as you even mention. I mean, for fuck's sake, those people literally went after a men's, how's it called, charity thing, where they said, hey, grow pretty mustaches or grow good mustaches and show them up for boys' cancer treatment. And guess what those fucked up feminist fucks did? They called it racist, homophobic, because women couldn't participate in it. So yes, not even fucking cancer, children's cancer, is enough to actually hold those fuckers back. So yeah, no, fuck them all. You sadly knew what you're going into it, and I respect that you actually went into it.
A Disney employee themselves come out and mock the idea of Disney trying to cater to young males. If you go on Reddit, oh my goodness, if you go on Reddit and saw the response to this article on things like Marvel subreddits, it was instantly mocked as this negative shift in the culture that Disney would think of trying to cater to male audiences at all. And that is why by doing these videos, there's a potential I will be judged negatively for doing it at all, because there's this stigma of trying to appeal to men at all with the things that men like. There's this stigma around it where you are somehow a bad person, or at the very least, someone who's worthy of being mocked if you would try to appeal to that demographic at all. And that kind of goes back to point number 1. There's an element of vilifying to all of this, where you're just vilifying men, and that's why it is wrong to cater to them at all. And how? So how can you win male audiences back if you inherently are trying to vilify them or are going along with the people who are trying to vilify them at the same time?
Exactly, yes.
You need to get back to normal. You need to stop getting rid of this stigma that you can't, for example, say, hey, I think that little boys might like a project based off of cars, because little boys like cars. You need to get rid of this sort of element, this very small subculture that is saying that it is laughable to try to appeal to men or little boys at all. As long as the people behind the scenes think that that is something bad or something to be laughed at, and by extension think that those demographics are something to be laughed at, then you're going to keep failing. Because if you hate the idea of catering to men, or you just hate men in general, or even you can't even accept that this is something that is happening, because to even acknowledge this as a problem at all is something wrong, well then how do you expect to make any kind of good show or movie that would make a man want to watch it, or to make him even feel invited to watch it as something that is not trying to vilify him? So that's just something to think about, you know?
I mean, they think that they can just tell that you're a racist, that you're a pig, that you're bad because you are a man, and just tell them that they are bad people if they don't watch it, and then suddenly men will watch this stuff. Well, it doesn't work that way, buttercups.
If you want to make things that men would actually enjoy, you can allow men to be men, introduce things that men would actually like, make good movies, decide that catering to men isn't wrong. So Disney, if you really want to bring male audiences back, you can start following these 5 major steps. Are you gonna do it? Do you think they'll do it?
Never. Never, ever, ever.
Well, thank you all for watching this little analysis by me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Is there anything that you would like to add to this list? And do you think that companies are going to start following these steps at all in the future? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this content, you can support me on memberships or
Damn. Oh, she's correct, by the way. Every single step, correct. Nothing to say there, except hear what she has to say, Acolytes. Wisdom in its purest form. Good night.